It's Mary on the run. It's Mary, Mary on the run. It's Mary, Mary on the run. It's Mary, Mary on the run. Mary on the run.
So good morning, Kaitlyn, on this snowy day in February. It's actually February. So tell us a little bit about you, your little bit of background, the class you graduated from and where you are at school, that kind of stuff.
Well, my name is Kaitlyn Vogel. I'm a part of the class of 2017, and I am currently at Stetson University with a double major in management, entrepreneurship, and a minor in sales. And even though it's a snowy day for you guys up north, it is 65 and sunshine down here.
And Stetson is where in Florida?
In DeLand, Florida, so it's in between Orlando and Daytona Beach.
Okay, so a good place to be. Are you on campus?
Not currently. I'm in an off-campus housing right next to the class, but I'm able to attend in-person classes this semester.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you're one of the fortunate few that's actually attending classes.
Yes, I am. They make us wear a mask and get tested every 2 weeks, but we're in class.
So last week we were supposed to get together and you weren't able to because you had an engagement at NASCAR?
NASCAR, yes. So the Daytona 500 Speedway is about 15 minutes from my campus.
Wow. Okay, so tell us a little bit about that and your involvement with that organization.
Yes, so the sales program that I'm a part of at Stetson, I actually added my minor within the last year. It wasn't my original plan, but I took one class and I fell in love with it. So as part of the engineering sales program at Stetson, we're part of NASCAR University. So NASCAR pairs with a few universities and allows them to come in on special race days and be part of their sales program. So I was at the Rolex race on Saturday this week.
So tell me a little bit about your years at Stetson.
So my years at Stetson have been a little unpredictable. I'm looking back on it, and we were evacuated for hurricane 3 times.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was my freshman year. I actually came home and back to Trinity Hall in New Jersey before some of my friends even left for college. I also attended Stetson over one summer. We partner with a school in Innsbruck, Austria, the University of Innsbruck. So I was able to go over to the satellite campus over there with 70 of other classmates. I would say looking back, that's the most incredible part of my college experience. I would recommend to anyone that they study abroad because it's just a different type of learning. Like I feel like I learned more life and in-person skills being over there and trying to figure out mass transit, how different people live than everything that I learned in the classroom over there.
You were there for the whole summer?
Yes, about 2 months.
Okay. So what were your favorite classes at Stetson? What were some of the courses that you really were inspired by or were challenged by?
My business classes, at first I wasn't the biggest fan of them because it was just like the general classes that you have to get through in order for you to get into your major. But now that I'm in the upper level classes, I really enjoy sales. Like I said before, that's something I found a passion for at college that I didn't think I was going to. And then the entrepreneurship program at Stetson is really cool as well because we get to design different products and businesses and figure out how we would bring them to venture capitalists and move forward if we were to continue them.
Well, I'm not surprised that you've ended or you're ending towards that area because you've always been a real people person. And for those that don't know Kaitlyn came to us a little bit later than some of her other classmates, but she made a huge difference as soon as she arrived because of her willingness to always connect with people. So I'm not surprised, Kaitlyn, that that's where where you're heading towards. Are there any, when you went to Stetson, how prepared were you coming from Trinity Hall?
I would say I was very prepared, and I also feel like the Trinity Hall background helped me find out what type of college I wanted to go to. Like I definitely looked for small classroom sizes, and when I walked on campus, I wanted to make sure that people were connecting with their professors because I feel like at Trinity Hall we were all so close. So I was looking for a close-knit bubble as well when I was choosing my college, especially since I was 1,000 miles away from home. I definitely wanted a super welcoming environment. I definitely found that at Stetson. My biggest class is 15 people, even before COVID.
I'm glad that was a place that you were able to spend the next 4 years. Are you going to be able to graduate in June, or with this double major and whatnot, do you have to stay a little bit longer?
I am graduating in May, but I'm going to get an MBA actually upon graduation. So I'm going through the process of all of that right now. I'm trying to stay down in Florida or the southern states because I know that they'll be open and I want to go to in-person classes. So right now I've gotten accepted into University of Tampa's MBA program and Belmont's MBA program. So I'm waiting for a few more and I have a few more interviews left, but hopefully I will be able to start that in either June or August of 2021.
Do you have a message for our current students? A message, something that you really want to share with them, maybe something you've learned or maybe just something?
A message that I would say to everyone is to keep in contact with your classmates. I love that I still see the people that I graduated with. Every time I'm home and we still talk, and I'm really excited to see if any of us end up in the same cities or places, if we'll connect again or maybe eventually end up at the same job. But that networking is super important, and I like how close we all are, and especially it's nice for me to see. I know there's not a lot of Stetson, Trinity Hall people down in Florida, but it's nice to see that some younger, the 2018s and the 2019 graduates are at universities with people that I graduated with. It's great to see that the Trinity Hall name and alma mater carries through.
Yeah, that's great. That's something that some of your classmates have reflected on. They like being at a school where they see 2 or 3 Trinity Hall girls there. We're 308 students today.
Wow.
I know that's pretty significant increase from the 32 that you graduated with.
Yeah, you can't all fit in the hallway anymore.
No, we don't all fit in the hallway. So other questions. You danced when you were at Trinity Hall, correct?
Nicole Calandrino and I founded the dance club.
Right, exactly. And it still continues, sort of pre-COVID it was continuing. But have you danced at all at college?
So I haven't taken any dance classes, but I'm involved in a sorority and Alpha Zeta Delta, and we have to do dances for our philanthropy on campus. So I'll organize the dances for them, which is super cool that I was able to continue that, even though I'm not super involved in it like I used to be, but it's good that I still get to go out and dance.
So, so many people think that sororities are just really a social experience. But tell us a little bit more, especially for the girls that are looking at colleges. Was it important for you to have a sorority when you were looking at your college?
Yes, definitely. I wanted a sorority. So Stetson rushes a little bit earlier than most people. So a lot of schools up north have shifted to rushing in January, so you get acclimated. But we rush here in the fall. So I rush about 2 weeks after starting. And I am for rushing early because I had people that I could go to when I was like homesick or didn't know things, and they like showed me around town. Like it was awesome that I had seniors that were like ready to leave college and move on, and they were telling me what they learned and like what mistakes not to make. So that was definitely super important to me as a freshman. And then I lived in my sorority house my sophomore and junior year, which was an awesome experience because you get to live with your sisters and it's a close knit community about people that all share the same beliefs and ideals as you. And it's not just a social aspect. We probably do about at least an hour per sister of volunteer a week, and they also have like academic programs in place. So we have study hours, so we'll all study together in the library. We rent a room pre-COVID, so we would all do everything together. So it's definitely something that made my experience, but it's also something that's super dominant at Stetson. There's about, I think it's like 60 or 70% of the students are involved in groups right here.
Okay, so that's something to consider when you're looking at colleges. But for you, it was a really good experience. Sort of continued the Trinity Hall sisterhood right to college.
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely something I was looking for, especially being so far away from home. But I'm definitely interested to see how COVID is going to change Greek life.
Okay, great. A question maybe that I haven't asked you, something that you've been thinking you wanted to tell me as you were coming to this interview today.
Something that I wanted to ask is just how everyone's doing, like with COVID. I hear a little bit of like whispers from my sister and my cousin that are there, but I wanted to see you guys are all still doing all your activities, sports, everything like that.
Well, I will tell you, Kaitlyn, it has really changed things, and it's challenged us in ways that we've had to think differently about community. So before COVID, it was real easy to just gather everyone, whether we gathered in the halls or we gathered in the commons or we gathered outside. We were able to gather and have those wonderful conversations. And I say they're conversations because, you know, we go back and forth.
Yeah.
You cannot empower and educate young women if you don't allow them to speak up. And sometimes they speak up rudely and even disrespectfully, but that's important, right? To have that conversation and to have that exchange. And that's how we all learn how to really discuss topics and to make decisions that support the community. And that part is more difficult. We do have community meetings, but you can imagine a community meeting with more than 300 people on the meeting is a little bit different on Zoom. So we've attempted to use the Zoom platform, the online platform. Everything's on Zoom, and so things are a little bit disconnected at times, and we have to work harder to connect on Zoom. And I think in that way, it's challenged us. I also think that for the girls, there's a lot less hugging, there's a lot less high-fiving, there's none of that. It's hard when like you and I are speaking to each other and I can see your face and you can see mine with a mask on. It's very different. That's what it's challenged us to do. So for example, the spring musical, you can't go to a theater. Brookdale didn't let us come into their theater in the fall, and they're more than likely not going to let us in the spring. So we're going to build an outdoor theater, and we're going to go out there outdoors.
Are you going to put it right on campus?
You bet.
That'll be awesome.
It will. And so, that's the kind of things that I'm saying. Let's wait for the warm weather, and then we're going to pivot like we always do, but we're going to pivot and make sure that some of these really important events for the girls are outdoors. So stay in touch, Kaitlyn. I hope to see you this spring at our tailgate.
Me too.
And I'll see you at graduation for sure.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. But thank you so much. I really appreciate, it was a little bit more of a challenge to get together, but we were persistent.
Sure.
We'll enjoy it and take care and be good and continue to smile.
I will. Bye, Miss Girl. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much, Kaitlyn. Bye-bye.
It's Mary on the run. It's Mary.